Hello, folks. It's Wednesday, the 8th of October, and I'm checking in. Cheers, people. I took the window air conditioner out this morning because it's 42 degrees here. We'll probably get some Indian summer before the total cold sets in, but I thought, okay, take the air conditioner out. Probably the last year for this air conditioner, it was given to me. I don't know how many years ago, but it's an old one and it served me well. But as I took it out this morning, it was like probably the last year. I probably need to get a new one. How you folks doing? Cheers. I'm hanging tough. Weathering the very strange psychic energy of the current world. I, for one, am very sensitive to it. And the atmosphere is one of unrest everywhere. For I, I feel it. It's not so much that people aren't just living their lives and doing regular things. We are. But it's like there's a cloud over everything. Um, Energy-wise. That's what I'm talking about. Some of you other folks know what I'm talking about. Not everyone is aware of it or observes it. I'm just aware. So, weird times. Couple of comments regarding that. Yay, Bad Bunny. I'm not a fan of Bad Bunny, but the response from the American government and the president is ridiculous. These people are so sick. Bad Bunny is a U.S. citizen. And just because he's not white or Lee Greenwood, they're having a conniption fit. It just says everything about the lack of character, the lack of intelligence, the lack of love that the whole lot of these people have. Now, one of the reasons why all this is on my mind this morning, I have another thing I want to comment on regarding current events. I hope I don't forget, but the reason why Trumpism is at the forefront of my thoughts this morning is because the band that I was in, Scudder, with that really redneck sounding name, Scudder, we are being inducted into the Nebraska Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this Sunday. We're rehearsing for that because we've been asked to play. And we have a rehearsal this morning, the first rehearsal for it. We've scheduled 3 rehearsals. I've talked to the main band leader, Jeff. All the other guys in the band voted for Trump. And that's why I quit when I stopped playing with them a couple of years ago. And I've talked to Jeff since then. I know where I'm at with Jeff, but I haven't talked to the other 2 guys since leaving the band. And I don't intend to not speak whatever I feel knowing this. So I'm curious what it's going to be like. Music is the healer, and it's a wonderful form of communication that brings people together. So I want to see how it goes today, because the drummer, Tom Ware, who goes all the way back to my first record, he and I were in Norman and the Rockwells. When he went right-wing nut because of listening to Rush Limbaugh, I was so disappointed. But I also understood why he, as a upper middle class white kid who had owned a business, was swayed by that bullshit. That blaming everything on immigrants and brown and black people. He, as a business owner, I know that I remember before he sold the business, the studio, where he and his ex-wife, rest in peace, Terry, would come down to the studio some days to open up, and there would be homeless people camped out in the back of the studio. And I can understand how that would affect your thoughts, but to the way that, see, I'm not left wing. I'm not. Don't call me a lefty. I'm not. I'm just a concerned person. But the way that the right wing nuts um, distort everything and point fingers and blame place, Tom fell right into it. So before I quit the band, we had a couple of hot moments in conversation where it's like I was like, do I even know you? So be curious to see how that goes today, because we're gonna play, and of course we can play music, don't have to talk about anything, but nobody shushes me. So we'll see how it goes. In general, when you look at the world through the lens of media, computers, TV, advertising, whatever else, it really looks like we live in a world that is totally adolescent, and that we gave up on taking the final step to maturity that I used to sense when I was a child. Seemed like there were adults around. Now it doesn't. Good, great example again is, look at what's happening in Washington. You know, so another big news item where people are totally, you just see all this weird response. Besides the Bad Bunny, which I think is just so ridiculous. Bad Bunny is a U.S. citizen. Weird. But the other big news is that Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson are coming out of retirement, and they're going to go on tour as Rush with the new drummer Anika Niles. Yay, yay, yay. And as a performing musician, I completely understand. They have waited for 10 years since the death of Neil Peart, and all any of us are going to do is continue to get older and then die. So I watched their announcement video a couple days ago, and as old as we and they are, they still, in announcing it, you could see the child glee, the youthful glee. That music is theirs. It's a central part of their lives. Um, Geddy and Alex started the band before Neil wasn't there from the beginning. So the idea that, well, first off, Neil is irreplaceable, of course, but the idea that they don't get to decide whether or not to go on is ridiculous. It is not up to the fans at all. And in these ridiculously politically charged times, the fact that there are some small-minded people who have an issue with the fact that she's a woman, good Lord. Stupid, 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 stupid. And the thing is, if you know anything about her, which I do, she's a badass. Does she have the skill to play what Neil played? Not to try and imitate what he did, but can she pull off the things that he did? Absolutely. Absolutely. She might even have enough skill and technique to surpass some of what Neil Peart is known for. So I applaud Rush for boldly doing what they want to. It's their legacy. They're still alive. Seems like they've thought this out well. only doing what, seven cities on this tour. Um, if they came anywhere near, would I go? If they came to Omaha, you know, I would go, but of course it would immediately sell out. But I'm not traveling anywhere for nothing right now. So I'm happy for Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson and also Anika. Bravo. It's a shame that we have a regime that encourages small minded, pin-headed thinking. It's pathetic. So, do I have anything to show? I'll see. Because oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm working. I'm over here working. Got word that the CDs are done and they are in transit. More than likely, it could be as long as waiting till Monday, because the tracking number only shows that the package is there in Portland, ready to be shipped. It hasn't even left yet. So it would be nice if they were here as soon as Saturday, but I've been through this before, and also with the government shutdown, the way that it's affecting everything, I fully expect that there could be a delay in the delivery. But the discs are done, and they're on their way. I cannot wait. Getting a new disc is always fun for me. This is why the idea of doing vinyl just got ridiculous, because of the wait time. You know, you send off all of the materials and then you're waiting for months. It's excruciating. It's excruciating. So, music wise, just right quick, because I got this at the record show Sunday, played it all the way through. This is another example of where the music is dated, but I've always loved the idea of progressive rock and trying to emulate things that are important to you. So the way that this band, American band, incorporated their love of Yes and King Crimson into the writing, musically is very strong. Lyrically, again, lyrics are my sticking point. So they sing a lot about wishing that the UFOs were real and making contact, and oh, that's fun, you know. But it also points to why I'm so proud of the work I'm doing with Otis 12, Douglas Wesselman, because the man knows how to talk, has a heart, and we're not afraid to speak up and protest. That reminds me, yesterday for a minute, Facebook was trying to restrict me, saying I couldn't like things because something about their community standards. Well, I just let it go, and it's okay today. But it's like, so we have right wing nut jobs behind everything, and are going to literally have a problem with free speech, because I haven't posted anything on Facebook offensive at all. And all I've been doing is being critical of the Trump regime, which is necessary. Most people are criminals doing great destruction to this country. And you're going to try, if Facebook is going to try to punish me or restrict me, these are horrible times, people. And a lot of folks are completely oblivious to it. It's a shame. Right quick, I want to talk about this album that I recently bought, La Guepe, Bernard Vite. Um, this is from 1971, and it's a beautiful white vinyl. This is somewhere between free jazz and just kind of freaky psychedelic noise making. Mostly I like it, but the downfall is the vocalization. They could have left the voice off of here. And that's all the person does. Francois Chard is his voice. And it's, as far as I'm concerned, I don't speak French, so if his words are important, it's past me. The sound of his voice is irritating. I listened all the way through to this, and I understand why it's such a coveted record. I read the story too, but this is like almost unhinged. There's points where they're singing and basically screaming at the top of their lungs, and it's like it's like they're losing their minds. But at the same time, it's mixed with some interesting playing. I read the story where they had no money, so it was recorded really cheaply, as you can hear. But it's a strange record, and it's kind of out there. So I can see where when people probably first heard it, some people would probably think this is the worst thing I've ever heard, and other folks would be intrigued as to what's going on here. What are these people going through? Some of the really high notes that the person is able to hit. It's like, oh man, that's something. Um, I was out in the living room, and this came up. Dereck Bischoff composed an album I've had for years where I took a chance on it. I didn't know about him except I knew he was in the band Shudder to Think for a while, which I like that band. So it's one where I took a chance. It was in the used. Also, the fact that it was on the Leaf, it's on the Leaf label, which I thought to myself, I don't see too many Leaf records. That seems to be a good label. This is very good. He's an American composer. He's done a lot of soundtracks and stuff like that. And this is, it's not one style. He does things where he's using a string section, and there's several instrumentals, but he also uses vocalists like David Byrne is on here. Who's the other one? Craig Wadrin from Shudder to Think is on one. Carla Bozilic. And each person's vocal um, contribution stands out. It's like he wrote the piece specifically for working with this person. It's really good. Black vinyl. Maybe close to David Byrne, Brian Eno in some ways, stylistically, but actually its own thing. Um, Again, it was one where I'm looking at the records and doing something else and thinking, I don't remember what that sounds like. Is it time for it to go? No, this is really good. Dereck Bischoff composed. I went ahead and read about this meeting of John Cage and Sun Ra and listened to it, and they do John Cage's silence on here. Empty words, basically. Vocal solo, where the focus is on being present. Are you present? Are you here in the moment? Do you experience this moment? So by the time I got to side 4, it's like, yeah, I get this. This is very cool that these folks came together, and however you see them, pretentious or unpretentious, they were themselves in this space together, and something does happen. This is cool. This is good. John Cage meets Sun Ra. The empty words and keyboard on side 4 is wonderful. Here's one where I'm on the fence and we're probably going to keep it. Not one I'm going to play much, but there's a personal connection. Black Market Brass. I bought this a while ago, and this came out a few years ago. There's an Africanism to the rhythms here that that they take on, and they do a pretty good job of. But part of why it's good, I like the art too, but also Cole Pullis. I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right. Cole Pullis plays baritone saxophone on here, and I've actually improvised with him when he was playing with Bill Brovold. Do you know the name Bill Brovold? Another interesting independent creative artist who I had the opportunity to play with live years ago, 2019. I still have the. It was at a Lincoln Calling Music Festival, and Cole was part of Bill's band, and I played solo before them. But we ended the our show collectively improvising, and um, I hit. I enjoyed Cole's um, company for the short time that we were together. We stayed in touch. We're still in touch. Black Market Brass, Undying Thirst. Listen to some more of this, The New Chameleons. I love it. I love it. And Mark he's so unashamedly honest. Makes him seem like a nutter, but my kind of nut. An honest man. And Saviors Are a Dangerous Thing is absolutely about the madness of current politics. You know, let's keep going. It's okay. Bought this recently, this Mark Pritchard reissue of his album, Under the Sun. I love this. Listen to all of this yesterday. It's like these pictures. It leaves a lot to your imagination as to what this music is doing and why it's doing it. Even on the tracks where he's using vocalists, it's still very open-ended as to how to receive this music, and I love it. I love the way it's recorded, and I love the way that it's not rock and roll at all. It's just this wonderful sound and atmosphere that he creates. So, got the news through the internet yesterday that Veronique Vincent, someone you've never heard of, has passed away from cancer. That's her on the cover here of the Honeymoon Killers album. I've had this since it came out. This band, there's a sideways connection to the Canterbury group of musicians, which is how I got turned on to these Belgians. And there's a humorous aspect to this, which I don't get because I don't speak the language, but you can hear it in the music. But beyond that, the music is just left of progressive rock. It uses all these different elements, everything from samba to lounge music to out there crazy time signatures. And there's a couple videos that they made for this album, and she was you could tell she was like a big presence, an important factor in the band, and probably anything else she did. Besides being beautiful, she had a great voice and a lot of presence. I have a single by them as well, Honeymoon Killers, but I just found out through her circle of friends, among them Dagmar Krause, who spoke about her, who knew her, and my circle of friends on Facebook. Rest in peace, Veronique. I think I have something else. Maybe. Well, I listen to this. This is really good. It's very African. The rhythms are very African. I think the light-skinned woman is also South African. She may not be white. Anything else down here? Okay, I'm caught up. Yeah. So, we'll see how it goes today. I'm telling you, I love these people in the band Scudder. I hate what's happening to the world because it's actually nothing new. It's always been this way, that the rich and the big money cartels behind the scenes, the thing they call deep state, but basically just the way the money goes, follow the money, and that's where the power is. This is really nothing new. It's just really unfortunate that the thin veneer of democracy has been stripped away. And so now it's just wanton greed and lawlessness that we're dealing with the current regime in power in America, and the way that it's also playing out across the globe. I hear from you folks from different parts of the world where your government is in tatters. It's heartbreaking. So I'll end this musically though with I've returned to this again, Shattered Stone by Frost Lake. This goes on my albums of the year list. If anyone from Discus sees this, or if anyone who knows these folks sees this, let Martin Archer and Jan Todd know. This is a winner in a more fair world, or if the world was a little more like it used to be when there was a quote unquote music industry and there were avenues for Frost Lake to be advertised and talked about in a big way, this could break through. Now, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. We need more of this. I haven't even dug into what the words are about. It's the sound of the music. It's the atmosphere of the music. It's the sound of her voice as well as the instruments. This is wonderful. Shattered Stone by Frost Lake. It's on my albums of the year list for sure, and the year is almost over. Just where does it? 1 minute we're talking about January, February. Now we're talking about October. Crazy. Which reminds me. So the lamp, acting funny. See, this is supposed to be a three-way lamp where you can buy those old three-way bulbs to get it brighter. And I think that's what's fucking with these. But it's funny how a couple folks brought up Halloween yesterday, because I am so disconnected from mainstream thinking. I don't like Halloween. It means nothing to me. I don't celebrate it. It means, because the world is so topsy-turvy and there's so little, everyone is a child. Halloween is, something that you really enjoy as a child, but the adults that are supposed to be supervising things are just children in the world today. And Halloween just brings it all out. People just go into the fantasy like way deep. It's like the world is so shitty that people, rather than want to try to dig in their heels and try to make things better, just run away that much harder. And to me, Halloween is just an example of that, where people just go fucking hog wild. I don't like Halloween. I haven't liked it since I was a kid. And so, spooky stuff and all that shit, I'm not into that. I have my experiences. I, someone pointed it out where they said, sounds like you've had an interesting life. I sure have. Most of us, I think, have, if we stop and look at our lives. But yeah, I've run the gamut from, like I originally mentioned, I'm a former member of the Black Panther Party. One of my best friends in high school came out as gay, and I had no idea he was gay, and I used to do sleepovers with him and his brothers and sisters all the time. But this friend also explored other things, and for a time thought he was a Satanist. And I participated in a couple of rituals that we were in over our heads, okay? You fuck around with things, you'll find out. That's why that that phrase is strong. Fuck around and find out. I found out, and so did my friend Tim, rest in peace. You mess with dark forces that are real, you get your ass bit. Okay, so I'm not spooked by the unknown. It's part of the larger picture. I've dabbled with the darkness, and you can have it if you want. I'm not afraid of it since I've been there. I asked for it, so I know what it's. I know to a degree. The only thing to fear is okay. That's what I got today, people. Let's see how the day goes for all of us. All right. Much love to all of you.